Recording in progress.
Colleagues, if you could take your seats, please. I'm going to ask Councilor Farrell to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty, justice for all. So colleagues, we are being both audio taped and videotaped this evening. I have Councilors Humphrey, Mickley, and Krinsman participating remotely. But before we begin our formal deliberations this evening, I want to ask for a moment of silence for our late mayor, Seti Warren. I'm sure that all of us are shocked at his sudden passing. Many of us in this chamber had the opportunity to work with Mayor Warren when he was served as our mayor. We all have our heartfelt sympathies to Tassie, to Abigail, to John. I think of the mayor and I think of his warm smile, his enthusiasm, his deep, abiding love for this city, and the many accomplishments that he had that made this city a better place to live. So with that, I'd ask for a moment of silence, please, in memory of Seti Warren. Thank you all. With that, we are going to start our regular business. I'm going to go to the chair of the Land Use Committee, Chair Kelly. And before I do, I'm going to note that while we have a number of items on second call, it is my intent this evening to entertain a number of motions to postpone until the 17th, which is our next regularly scheduled meeting. Because as we all know, tomorrow's election day. Not only a busy day for many of us, but a very, very, very busy day for our clerk and deputy clerk, who will be here extremely early tomorrow morning to make sure that our election process continues to function smoothly. A reminder that that is an absolutely critical part of our democracy. And thank you both and your team and our poll workers and our police officers who will be there tomorrow. Thank you in advance for all of your hard work. So with that, Chair Kelly.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will be succinct, brief, yet thorough, so we can move on tonight. The Land Use Committee met twice this month. The first time was on October 21st. Several items were held. The first one that was not held is number 260-25, which was a request to allow a retaining wall exceeding 4 feet in height at 82-84 East Side Parkway, and that was approved 7-0. The next one that we made motion on was number 305-25, a request to exceed FAR at 136 Gordon Road. That was approved 8-0. And 306-25, which was a request to rezone Farwell Street to multi-resident. Oh, no, sorry, that was held.
That was held.
You're right, that was held. The next meeting was on October 20.
Did you read 307-25 into the, oh, you did, I'm sorry, never mind.
Yeah, that was the one I started to read that was held. On October 28th, we met again and we took up item 309-24, which was a request to allow an extension of a non-conforming multifamily dwelling at 64-66 Dalby Street. That was approved 8-0. Item 310-25, a request to allow retaining wall exceeding 4 feet in height at 121 Hartman Road, approved 7-1. Item 311-25, which was a request to further increase non-conforming FAR at 156 Highland Street. That was approved 7-0. The other items were held. I would like to assign some public hearings at this time, however.
Go ahead, please.
I'd like to set a public hearing for November 18th for item 336-25 and 335-25, which you can find on page 257. And that is all for now. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't see, we've been joined online by Counselors Downs and Gentile. I don't see Counselor Baker in the chamber yet. So Vice Chair Oliver, would you give the zoning and planning report, please?
Excuse me. Thank you, Mr. President. So Zoning and Planning Committee met on the 27th of October. Again, we had several held items. We also cleared out a few items that we were going to not be able to finish this particular term. So those are the no action necessaries. The first item that was approved is 316-25 CPC recommendations to appropriate $1,997,000 in CPA historic resource funding. This is in support of the work at the West Newton Cinema. That item was approved 8-0. The next item, I believe, is on second call. The following item is also on second, or wait, no, that was no action necessary on 45-24. And with that, I'll move the report. That's all there is.
Thank you, Vice Chair Oliver. Next, for Programs and Services, Counselor Krinsman.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think there was another one that was no action necessary. I don't know if Counselor Oliver wants to report that with 24-24.
Oh, thank you, Counselor Krinsman. Did you report out 24-24 that there was no action necessary on that? Would you do so, please?
Sorry, that is my fault. 44-24, is that the one?
24-24 on page 250.
Right, I believe I did as no action necessary, right?
That's
Hold on. No, 44-24 is on second call. Correct?
No, 24-24 was no action necessary on page 250.
I'm sorry, you're saying 24-24. Correct. That item is, yes, that item was voted 8-0, no action necessary.
Thank you, and
My fault.
thank you, Counselor Krinsman. If you'd go ahead, Chair Krinsman, present the Programs and Services report.
Absolutely, Mr. President. I think the Vice Chair, Counselor Humphrey, is going to present the report of the committee, but then if you would come back to me when he's done so that I can ask for a late file item.
Of course. Counselor Humphrey?
Sure. Although I hate to do this, I think we also have to go back and point out, I'm pretty sure that the item related to the West Newton Cinema probably still has to go to Finance. So I don't think we're voting on that tonight. That was under the Zoning and Planning report that we just heard. So I just wanted to check on that because I don't remember it coming to Finance yet.
It has not.
Pardon? It still has to go to Finance, so there's no need to report it out this evening because it's not going to Finance. Thank you for the correction. Go ahead, please, Vice Chair.
Okay, so this brings us to page 252, the Programs and Services Committee meeting of October 22nd, 2025. Item 284-25, the appointment of Lakshmi Rao to the Council on Aging was approved 5-0. 288-25, the appointment of Gloria Mastrocola Gavris to the Council on Aging was approved 5-0. 290-25, the appointment of Sam Takef to the Council on Aging was approved 5-0. 295-25, request for a home rule petition. This is specifically the one about allowing for the possibility of liens as a mechanism for certain types of fine enforcements. That was approved 5-0 after a discussion with the law department. Likewise, we also spoke to the law department on 301-25, also a request for a home rule petition. This one, following the model of Boston, would allow us to increase penalties if we as a council chose to, up to $2,000 for certain violations, and that was approved 5-0 as well. And also just wanted to let folks know that if you happen to be available this upcoming Programs and Services Committee meeting, we're doing a lot of work finally that the Rules Committee subcommittee had been working on for a while. So there's a number of things overall rules cleanup, a potential change to the mechanism of things getting released out of committee, and then also a draft proposed code of conduct. So just wanted to put that on people's radar if they hadn't had a chance to look at the agenda for that yet. So that concludes the report. And then
Thank you,
back
Vice
over
Chair
to Chair
Humphrey.
Krinsman.
Chair Krinsman, you want to have you have a late filed item you want to report out?
That's correct. Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to ask for a suspension of the rules to allow late filed item 32725, which is the creation of the older adult services gift account to be considered.
All in favor of allowing the suspension of the rules, please say aye. Aye, opposed? The ayes have it. Go ahead. Are you all set then,
I
Councilor?
am all set. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Next, Public Safety and Transportation, Chair Grossman.
Thank you, Mr. President. The report begins on page 253. Item 281-25 needs to go to finance, so that's not properly before us tonight. Item 364-24, discussion and possible ordinance change on the categories and levels of parking fines was voted no action necessary, 7-0. And the final item is on second call. With that, I move the report.
Can we take that one? Thank you, Chair Grossman. Next, I have Chair Albright for Public Facilities.
Thank you, Mr. President. We met 2 times since the last meeting. On October 22nd, we met, and let's see, the first one's on second call. Then 280-25, Councilors Albright and Getz requesting a discussion on the stormwater infrastructure and planning for its future. That was voted no action necessary. I would listen to that meeting. It was a very useful conversation that we had that night. The last item on that meeting was held. On 10/29, we met again, and the item that we voted on is on second call. So I move the report.
Thank you. And do you have some public hearings to assign, Chair Albright?
I do. The first one is for November 5th. Eversource petition of grant of location in the Armory and Washington Street. And on November 19th, petition for temporary repairs to the Hamlet Street. So that's for November 19th. And I also need a suspension of the rules for a late filed item.
Great. Councilor Albright's asked for suspension of rules for a late file item. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Go ahead, please, Councilor.
So the item is 338-25, and it's authorization to grant an easement to NStar Electrical Company doing business as Eversource at the West Newton Armory for access to electrical equipment. And this is related to the grant of location that we'll be meeting on this coming Wednesday. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair Albright. Next, I have the Chair of Finance, Chair Gentile.
Thank you, Mr. President. There is no report, but I would ask to be for a suspension of the rules to accept 2 late filed items, 327-25 and 334-25, which can be found on page 260.
All in favor of suspending the rules to allow for those late items to be docketed, please say aye. Aye, opposed? Ayes have it. Go ahead, please, Councilor Gentile.
And I have a public hearing to schedule on docket item 321-25, which I would like to schedule for 11/17, and that item can be found on page 258.
Thank you, Councilor Gentile. Real property reuse, we'll do the report. Yeah. I'm going to ask Vice Chair Lucas to give the report for real property reuse since Councilor Danberg's not here.
There is no report.
Thank you. Well done, Councilor Lucas. With that, Mr. Clerk, will you call the roll, please?
Councilor Albright. Councilor Baker. Councilor Bixby.
Aye.
Councilor Block. Councilor Danberg. Councilor Downs.
Aye.
Councilor Farrell.
Aye.
Councilor Gentile.
Aye.
Councilor Getz.
Aye.
Councilor Greenberg.
Aye.
Councilor Grossman.
Aye.
Councilor Humphrey.
Aye.
Counselor Kalis.
Aye.
Counselor Kelly.
Aye.
Counselor Krinsman.
Aye.
Counselor Leary.
Aye.
Counselor Lipoff.
Aye.
Counselor Lobovitz.
Aye.
Counselor Lucas.
Aye.
Counselor Maliki.
Aye.
Counselor Mickley.
Aye.
Counselor Oliver.
Aye.
Counselor Wright.
Aye.
President Loredo.
Aye, with the exception of 311-25, for which I'm recused.
The vote is 21-0 with the exception on
311-25.
311-25, which passes 20-1. 21-1.
20-01 recused, right?
Yep.
Great, thank you.
sir.
All right, we are going to move on to second call. I'm going to recognize the Chair of Public Facilities, Counselor Albright.
Which item are we talking about?
267-25, the Walk, Roll, and Bike Network Plan.
Do you want me to give the report because I know this is going to be postponed?
What I'd suggest is, why don't you simply, before you give a report, in order to be expedient, give a 20-second summary and then ask for postponement. We'll let you provide more detail at the next meeting.
Get my paper. Okay, we had a presentation from Jen Martin on the Walk, Ride, Roll. It's a very innovative plan and it's not in your typical format. So I think you'll enjoy reading it if you haven't. I'll just tell you that the established six guiding goals of the plan is to enhance safety and comfort, connect people to key destinations, build out a core network, manage speeds for safety, advance accessibility for all, and encourage active travel. And I think that's enough for tonight, and I will give a fuller report at the next meeting.
So do you have a motion, Counselor Albright?
Yes, the motion was to approve, and it was 8-0.
No, do you have a motion to postpone?
Oh, well, I
Um,
could do that, Counselor.
Well, I'll entertain a motion from Counselor Maliki. Counselor Maliki, will you move to postpone to our next meeting?
Yes, I moved that we postpone to our next meeting.
All right, do you have a second for that?
Second.
By Counselor Oliver. We can do this in a voice vote. All in favor of postponement, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. The item's postponed. Next is 317-25. This is also your item, Chair Albright.
So this is the Newton Highlands Area Plan. That's been going, this has a plan that has been under study to develop a conceptual plan for roughly 3 years. It has come to a head, and the request was that there be a sense of the committee as to whether we support moving forward to final design. We had an interesting discussion, and again, I will give a better flavor for what happened that night at our next meeting. But for a variety of reasons, not the least of which is tomorrow is the election, I'd like to move to postpone this until the next meeting.
I've got a motion from Counselor Albright to postpone, seconded by Counselor Lobovitz. I will do this in a voice vote. Any discussion of the motion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. The item's postponed to November 17th. The third item before us is from Zoning and Planning. Going to recognize the Vice Chair, Counselor Oliver.
Great, thank you, Mr. President. So item 4424, not 2424, requesting reevaluation and possible amendments to the inclusionary zoning ordinance or IZ ordinance. This is quite a substantial item. There are a handful of modifications that are on the table to inclusionary zoning. Perhaps the most significant of which is increasing the threshold at which new developments are able to substitute payments in lieu of units That would go from, or that would go all the way up to 19 units under this proposal. And with that said, I do believe there's some conversation to be had there, and I would like to recommend postponement to our next meeting.
So Counselor Oliver has moved to postpone. Do I have a second for that? Seconded by Counselor Lucas. Any discussion on the motion to postpone? Seeing none, let's do it in a voice vote, please. All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. It's postponed to November 17th, which is going to be a busy evening, colleagues. And with that, last item of the evening, Chair Grossman.
Thank you, Mr. President. So this item is 365-24, discussion and possible ordinance change on residential parking programs and fee structures. This was voted subject to second call by the committee, which is why it is technically on second call tonight. And the reason for that was we were waiting for one additional sentence from the law department, which we have received. So PS&T's work is complete. I suspect we'll still have to vote it subject to second call after finance hears it. But having this on second call has the added benefit of me being able to explain a procedural abnormality, which is that we realized that this item, which does recommend a change to a program fee, was not properly referred to the Finance Committee. So our committee also voted to refer it there. And once the Finance Committee has a chance to review it, then we'll be able to put it all back before you in proper order.
Great, and there's no need for a vote on that item. So that concludes our business. Motion to adjourn, Counselor Farrell? Motion to adjourn. We're adjourned at 7:24 p.m. Thank you all for your indulgence in coming out this evening. Good luck tomorrow. And thank you again in advance and your team for all the work they're going to do. Appreciate it. We're adjourned.